And 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
Where did you go after Buchenwald?
I went to Auschwitz, like back and forth.
Between the two?
Between the two.
Camps. Okay. Let's move on now to when you were in the chicken farm. Can you tell me of some other incidences that occurred when you were at the chicken farm?
Yeah, one incident happened with my feet. I did something and I don't remember exactly what it was, and they took my toenails and pulled it up with a plier. SS guy did that.
And what happened to you?
It was bleeding all over the place, and it was a big pain. That's the worst pain I ever suffered in my life.
Did anyone help you in any way?
Nobody helped me, no. I just took the rags and the blood stopped, thanks God, the blood stopped flowing, and I just put on my rags, and that was the end of that.
Do you have any problems today because of that?
Oh yeah, I got problems with it.
What kind of problems?
The nail didn't come back, you know, in the order it's supposed to be. It's kind of a crippled, you know, it's disformed. And then it's a little frost bites on the knee of my toenails.
Okay. Okay, let's move on to when you were on your way to Siebenbergen. When you were on your way to Siebenbergen, can you describe to me what that was like? Who was with you at that time?
There were a lot of people from Holland. They took us on a train and they put us in that cattle cars and without food, without anything, and they transported us we went someplace around Siebenbergen near Halberstadt, Magdeburg, and there we experienced planes coming overhead and shooting at the train, and most of the people were killed. There was a foot there and an arm there and a head up there, and I was laying in a dead body, inside the dead body. I was full of blood and my clothes was all torn off. And that was when they stopped, everything stopped, and then we got out. There were just few, 5 or 10 people the most, and
that survived
from the 2,000 people. And then the people from the town, there was a town, we could see it from the train, and about, I would say, 200-300 yards away, the people start running, come to the train, and then they are supposedly called the SS, and they came and they picked us up in a truck and took us down to that death march deal, going to.
Okay. You went. Did you go to Siebenbergen first? Or?
Siebenbergen. Yeah, Siebenbergen is the town where we had that factory. We had to work in that factory. That's right. We went to Siebenbergen first.
So were you taken by truck to go to Siebenbergen?
To Siebenbergen, yeah. And from Siebenbergen, then afterwards we went.
What happened when you were in Siebenbergen?
In Siebenbergen we had to go and work with lorries. We had to shovel dirt out of the mountains. They were building a factory there, a rocket. They built a rocket, V2 rocket there. So we had to work like laborers over there, and there were a lot of people died there too. You know, there were a lot of dead people. We buried a lot of people in Siebenbergen.
What were the conditions like when you were there?
It was very hard. We didn't have nothing to eat, and we had to work all day long, and most of the people what worked, they at night they fell down and they died. A lot of people died there. A lot of people worked themselves to death without food.
How long were you there?
We were there about 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
And what happened then?
Then they took us and all of a sudden I see a whole bunch of people walking on a highway, and I asked the people what it is, and they said that we've been marching already for 2 days, you know. And apparently they were the people taken from one or other concentration camps, and that was, they named it a death march. It was a 2-week march without food, without water, without nothing. We had to walk, and the people who couldn't make it, they stayed behind, and the SS, there were 4 SS in the back, and they shot them in the head, and the rest of them was marching, so there were always people shot because a lot of people couldn't make it anymore. And then there was an embankment over there, and they were just, the SS was in the back and the soldiers were on the side, and they told us, if you want to run away, it's 5 minutes before 12, and we wouldn't shoot you anymore. If you want to run away, we'll let you do it. So me and other couple, 3 guys rolled down the embankment and went to a barn there, and there was hay in the barn, and under the hay were potatoes, raw potatoes, so the other guys started eating the potatoes, and they died right there the next day. And I didn't eat the potatoes because I don't know why I didn't, but I just didn't eat the potatoes, so I was saved. And then after a while, the next day, we hear a lot of noise. The Russians were hollering, and they came with bayonets, and they were sticking it into the hay. They thought that there were Germans there, see. So I jumped up, and they saw my uniform, and there they took me to a barn, into a farmhouse, and they told the people that they want them to kill a beef and just give me the liquid, and they're going to bring me, they'll come every day, check up how I'm doing, and they're going to bring me crackers. And if he dies, he said the whole town will be shot. So they treated me very well, and they did what they said, and that's how I recuperated. I was there for about a month, 2 months, till I started walking. I couldn't walk anymore, you know, I was so weak.
Okay, let's move ahead now to when you were the mayor of a town in what you said was the Sudetenland.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what your job was as mayor?
My job was to watch the Germans there and to not to disturb the town. They should all be, you know, just to run the town and do whatever you can do for the town, you know, to tell him what to do and to work and to take care of me in the first place. They were very good. I had everything I wanted. I had a horse with a buggy, and I was I was driving it around, and then I made, at night when they were good, you know, and they listened, I made a big party, you know, and I made him pay because I didn't have any money. So I had to have some money, so I had some German guys sit there and collect money for the musicians and for me, especially for me. I didn't give nothing to the musicians. I kept the whole thing, so that's how I survived.
So how were they, so you treated them?
I treated them okay. I didn't try to rebel or anything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
just told everybody what I suffered and how I, you know.
how did they feel about that? I mean, how did the
They said
Germans react?
they didn't know that things like this were going on. They didn't know. They didn't know about the SS, how rude they were, or that they were gas. They didn't know nothing from a gas chamber. Nobody knew nothing. Didn't know nothing.
Were they surprised?
Huh?
Were they surprised?
They acted surprised, but I'm sure they knew about it.
Did you give them any specific job assignments?
You mean to make him feel bad, or to
No, but just work assignments.
work assignments? No, everybody had that. They were mostly farmers there. You see, and they had their land. They had to go work on the land. I mean, they had to produce vegetables and strawberries and stuff like this, was sent to the big cities. I mean, it was going on like normal, the food was taken it and was sold to, to wholesalers or whatever.
Because of
So-
because of your experiences that you'd had during the war, how did you feel about them?
I felt very bad. I never could digest if I saw a German guy. I had a hate in myself. I still have. I still can't help it. If somebody is German, it just bothers me. It's just, to me, every German was the same. But I suppose there were good Germans too, I'm sure there is. But after a while you forget and you forgive, I guess,
How did they feel about you being over them?
over them. I'm sure they didn't like it. I'm sure they didn't like it, but you haven't got a choice. You can do nothing. I mean, they probably didn't like it, but I recuperated in the meantime, and I got myself together a little bit. So it was kind of a relief for me, to do something and not to work hard and just to gain a little weight, because I lost so much weight. I wasn't well, my back and I was in bad shape.
Did you maintain contact with your brother at that time? You said you had seen your brother.
He was still in the army. He was a captain. He stayed in the army. He was a captain in the army, and he helped me a lot. I mean, when I came back after I came from that farm, he supported me. He gave me money because he made good money. He was traveling back and forth to France. He brought a lot of tobacco, and I used to sell the tobacco for him, So.
And what about the other? I know you had other family members. What were your feelings about your mother and your father at that time?
I tell you, I was very lonely. A lonely guy, all by myself. Nobody there. So I had a sister in England, married. So she found out that I got in touch. Somebody brought me in touch with her, and she asked me if I would like to go to see my her mother's brothers. My mother's brothers. So I said, why not? I might as well go. So she arranged everything for me. She got me a visa, and I went first. Before I went to America, I went to England to see her. She was living in Birmingham, and I saw her for a couple of weeks, and then I went to America. And my uncles were established in a small town.
Where did you first enter the United States?
When?
Where?
Where in New York.
And do you know what year that was, or what time of year?
It was either May. I think it was May. About May. May.
And what year?
1948.
48.
Mm-hmm.
And how long were you in New York?
In New York, I was a year in New York.
What did you do when you were there?
What I did, I went to night school. I wanted to learn English. And I found a friend there, and her father had a shoe factory. So she asked me if I want to sell shoes. So I said, sure. So she brought me shoes, and I went to school, and I asked the teacher, and the teacher said, listen, if you do it in English, it's fine with me. So long you talk English, you can sell shoes. So right away I made money, in New York. And then my other uncle was here already in a small town in Toppenish. And he had a appliance store. So he told his brother was still in New York. That's where he came.
An appliance store, you said?
He had an appliance store in Toppenish here, not far from here. And he was telling him, you should come over here because you can make good money and you can, have your own place. You don't have to be in that rat in New York. So we went to visit, and he showed him the paper. He's making money, so he said, "You want to go with me over there? We'll go open up a store." So I went with him.
How old were you then?
About 22, 23, maybe 24.
So did you say you had an uncle in New York that came with you?
Yeah, he was in New York, and one was here already on the West Coast here. So
Where did you
they
live?
promised me in Prosser. He promised me that he's going to open me up a store because I did very well there. You know, he used to go away. I used to sell out the whole store. You know, we used to sell appliances, and we used to go repair, motor repair, electrical wiring. We used to do. And but it didn't come to that. He didn't. He promised, but he never did anything about it. So I said I wanted to get married. So I went to Canada, and I met a girl there, and I got married. I've been married 40 years.
And what is her name?
Sarah.
And what about children?
Yeah, I got 3 children. I got 2 girls and 1 boy. They're all well, 2 are in Seattle and 1 is in Baltimore.
And what are their names?
My son is Maury, and my daughter is Elizabeth, and my other daughter is Hannah, Annie.
And when you came to Seattle, what kind of work did you do?
I was working for a big electrical company, laying the wire at the airport. Taxi, I was wiring. I was an electrician.
Do you know the name of the company? Do you?
Close Electric.
Okay. And did you do any other work besides that?
No, my full job, because I didn't know nothing else.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't actually an electrician. I just learned over there a little bit, you know, but I was just a laborer actually there.
And later on, did you do other kinds
Later
of work?
on, I decided we had some friends in Vancouver, BC, and she suggested I should buy myself a truck and go pedaling. So that's what I did. That's how I started out. And the first place I came in was a farmer, and he said, "What you doing here?" I came with a truck. "What you doing here?" I said, "I'm looking for a scrap." I said, "What nationality are you?" I said, "Czech." "Oh, you're a brother of mine." He said, "You know what? I just sold that place here. Whatever you find, just pick up and take it." So the first day I made $200. So from then on I started doing business, and I'm still a little active, but.
Can you tell me a little bit how you deal nowadays with memories of the Holocaust?
I try to forget, actually. I wish it would never happen, and I hope it will never happen again. But who knows? I hope my children and their children are going to see that everything, you know, should be considered not to let it happen.
Do you suffer from nightmares?
Yes, I do, especially when I talk about it.
Yeah. What would you like to tell future generations after having lived through the Holocaust?
They should be very careful and be aware that these things can come again. You never know. You know, there's a lot of things going on right now which the Jews suffer. You know, everybody's against the Jews, so we have to do the best we can for what we got.
Okay. I think we're done with our interview now, so I want to thank you very much, Mr. Bush.
Thank you. Straight 7160.
You were recording now?
Okay, Mr. Bush, can you tell me what your numbers say on your arm?
7160. That's the first few transport came to Auschwitz.
And what else? Is there anything special about your numbers?
No, nothing special.
Are there any letters or other symbols there?
Yeah, I have a heart with a arrow go through it where my date is, when my mother was gassed.
But on your number that's on your arm, though, there's no letters?
No, no letters, no, on the other arm,
Okay.
on the right arm.
Okay.
Ready? Okay, we're recording now.
Can you describe to me what that marking is on your arm, Mr.
Yeah,
Bush?
there's a letter of mine, my first name and my mother's first name, in order I shouldn't forget when her memorial is.
Is there anything else on there besides the letters?
Just 1941, the year.
And what's the significance of that year?
That where she was put in the gas chamber that day.
And where did you get that tattoo?
The same place I got this when they took us the first in Auschwitz.
Okay, thank you.
We're going to do it now. I'll tell you. Okay. Go ahead.
Mr. Bush, can you tell me who is in this picture?
That's me and the German fellow what was in that town. He helped me, he was my helper.
Which town was this?
It was near I don't remember the name of the town.
Was this the one in the Sudetenland?
In the Sudeten, yeah.
And are you, which one are you?
I'm the one in the leather coat, and the other guy is on the horse.
And what was the year, the date? Do you remember, like,
That was in 1949.
was it early or late?
It was in spring.
Okay.
Here comes the next one.
And who's in this picture?
This is a fellow, he used to be our friend for a long time, for the last 20 years. And he was very good to the Jews. He used to go to Theresienstadt, bring us food, and he used to try to help other people. He was a very good guy.
What is
And
his, I'm sorry, what is his name?
His name is Gustav Stoches, S-T-O-C-E-S.
And is he the one on the right?
He's on the right, standing next to the horse.
And
I'm on top of the horse.
where is this?
That's in that little town where I used to be a mayor,
And the
in
date,
the Sudeten,
the year of
in
this?
1949.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Can you tell me about this picture?
This is the same fella, but that's in Prague.
And what is his name?
Stoches, Gustav Stoches.
And what year is this?
This is in 19